Welcome, my name is Matthew, and this is a workout-inspired yoga class. We're going to do a full-bodied style of class. It will include a warm-up as well as a cool-down, and we're going to be using a cycle timer throughout class. At certain times, we're going to be on the timer at 45-second intervals. At other times, primarily in the warm-up cool-down phase, we're not going to really pay attention to the timer too much. As you can see, I don't have any props whatsoever, but if you feel you'd be better off with a little more cushioning or something a little bit more sticky, grab a sticky mat or a workout mat, get that in there, and let's start in down dog whenever you're ready for it. All right, so if you're familiar with down dog, just come into it, but if you're less familiar with down dog, essentially you're making an inverted V shape with your body. So separate your hands about outer shoulder width apart. Separate your feet about hand width apart. Go ahead and bend your knees for this one, and then stick your butt up to the sky. If down dog, for any reason, it's not working out for you, just bring your knees down to the floor, step your hands forward, a really big step, and then lower your head to or towards the floor, just so you can get that spinal stretch that you get in down dog. Otherwise, just regardless of where you're at, cycle your breath in and out through your nose as best you can. And just take some smooth, even breaths here. Relax your neck if you're in down dog. All right, just a few more breaths. Down dog's a full body pose, so obviously it doesn't require your entire body to work here. So just take one more in-breath here. And then as you exhale, go ahead and walk to the top edge of your mat or towards it. And come into a standing forward bend with your knees bent. So bend your knees and then drape forward over your thighs. Relax your neck. Maybe keep your hands on the floor if this stretch is really intense. Otherwise, grab your elbows and then just hang here. Relax your neck. Release your neck. But keep your knees bent. Keep your knees bent pretty deeply. All right. Now, go ahead and stand up. Shake it out a little bit if you need to. And then step your feet about hip width apart. But really, I just want you to bring your feet into a very comfortable and stable position. So wiggle your feet around until you feel like you're really, really stable in your stance. What we're going to do next is some dynamic movements. And I'm going to ask you to try to match these movements with your inhales and exhales. So it'll simulate like we're doing sun salutations or the traditional sun salutations. So stand comfortably. Breathe through your nose best you can. Next inhale, reach your arms up. Fold forward, exhale. Keep your knees bent. Lift halfway up, inhale, gaze forward. Fold forward, exhale. We'll just do a few of these movements to kind of prime the breath. Stand up, inhale, reach up. Release your arms, exhale. Reach up, inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Relax your neck, keep your knees bent. Lift halfway up, inhale, fingertips to shins. Fold forward, exhale. Relax your neck. Stand up, inhale, reach up. Release your arms, exhale. Now we'll add some other movements. Reach up, inhale. Fold forward, exhale. And if you can't match it with your breath, that's fine. Lift halfway up, inhale. Step your right foot back, exhale. Come into a lunge. So your back leg stays straight. Inhale here. Step back to your down dog, exhale. Now go forward to plank pose, inhale. Lower your knees down, lift your feet up as you exhale. So come into a modified plank pose. Now either just bang out some push-ups here. So go ahead and go for a few rounds of modified push-ups, or do a few rounds of regular push-ups. Or if you need to not do the push-ups, just hold the plank poses, modified or not. Take another round here, and then send yourself back to down dog as you exhale. Take a deep breath in, and then step your right foot forward between your hands, lunge. Step forward and fold on your next exhale. Bend your knees, lift halfway up, inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Then stand up, reach up, inhale. Release your arms, exhale. Again, reach up, inhale. So second side. Fold forward, exhale. Bend your knees, relax your neck. Lift halfway up, inhale. Step your left foot back for your lunge, exhale. So pause right here, just one inhale. Step back to your down dog as you exhale. Now again, we'll do those same push-ups options as well. So rock forward to plank pose, hold plank, hold modified plank, or just do some push-ups, modified or not, meaning your knees could be down the entire time. So do whatever works for your body at this time. Next exhale, head back to downward facing dog. Take a breath here. And I didn't say it on the other side, but if you have trouble stepping your foot all the way between your hands from here, lower your knees down, step your left foot between your hands, come into your lunge, and then step forward and fold as you exhale. Lift halfway up, fold forward, exhale. Stand up, reach up. Release your arms, exhale. So we'll do one more set. Reach up, inhale. Fold forward, exhale, bend your knees. Lift halfway. Step your right foot back, lunge. Inhale here. Step back to down dog, exhale. Pull forward to plank pose. Do some push-ups or just hold your planks. Knees up or knees down. Back to down dog as you exhale. Take a deep breath in. Step your right foot between your hands. Modify it if you need. Look forward here. Step forward and fold, exhale. Lift halfway up. Fold forward, exhale. Release your neck. Stand up, inhale. Release your arms, exhale. Last side, reach up. Fold forward, exhale. Lift halfway. Step your left foot back, lunge. Inhale here. Step back to down dog, exhale. Plank pose. Stay here or do some push-ups. So I'll leave that one up to you. Bang out as many as you want. Move slow. Move fast. Knees up or knees down. Down dog with your next exhale. Take a big breath in. Step your left foot forward, lunge. One in breath here. Step forward and fold, exhale. Lift halfway up. Fold forward, exhale. Release your neck. Stand up, inhale, reach up. Release your arms, exhale. A little bit warmer? I know I am. All right, turn to your right. Come into the middle of your mat. We'll be doing some standing poses. So some traditional standing poses. We'll do them from side to side, but we'll end up in this position after we do both sides of the pose, okay? So go ahead and take a wide stance. Separate your feet somewhat wide. Make sure it's still comfortable enough. Now rotate your right foot out about 90 degrees and bend that right knee till it's over the ankle. So more like it's considered like a warrior two stance. Now, if you're, let's say if stretching your arms out is too much, then just keep your hands on your hips the whole time. But if you can stretch your arms out and look to the right. All right. Now, for it to be more invigorating, push through your feet, push against gravity, lift your chest up. Breathe smoothly here. Grab onto your hips, straighten both your legs, and parallel your feet. Second side, rotate your left foot out, bend your left knee until it's over your ankle, and then maybe stretch your arms out. Maybe not though. The arms, believe it or not, stretching the arms out like this is somewhat challenging. If you're gonna hold them up there for around 30 seconds or more, it's pretty challenging. So you can go back and forth. If your shoulders get tired, if your arms get tired, you can bring your hands to your hips, give your arms a rest. But it will build a little bit of strength in your deltoids there and upper arms. Straighten both your legs, parallel your feet, step or jump your feet into the center of your mat. Relax for a couple breaths. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty warm. All right. We're going to use Warrior 2 as the leg position for the next pose, which is considered or known as side angle pose. So let's go ahead and take a wide stance again. You're in charge of how far apart you bring your feet. So if it's a little bit too intense, just take a narrower stance. If you want a little bit more intensity, then take a wider stance. Rotate your right foot out, bend your right knee, come into that Warrior 2 position again. And then lean to your right. Go ahead and lean to your right and bring your right elbow down to your thigh. Reach your top arm over your ear and stretch through your top hand. Now, those of you that have a little bit more room to play, a little bit more movement, then you can bring your right hand to the floor outside your foot. Or if you have a block or some sort of prop, you can bring your hand down to a prop. But I'm plenty fine right here. I don't need it to go any farther. All right, stand up, parallel your feet, and then let's work towards side B. So turn your left foot out, bend your knee, stretch your arms out, Warrior 2. Lean to your left, so lean into it, go slow, and bring your left elbow down. Swing your right arm over your ear, and reach your arm overhead. So the top hand, the palm is facing the floor, so go ahead and rotate the arm in that position. Then push the floor away. So don't just sink down into gravity unless you're looking for that style of class where you're just kind of relaxing into it. But going for more of an invigorating experience, push the floor away. Stand up, parallel your feet, and then step or wiggle your feet into the center of your mat. Take a few resting breaths. Okay, we'll do another standing pose in that orientation. It's going to be what's considered a triangle pose. So now both legs will stay straight, but we will use Warrior 2 as the template to set up the pose. So take a wide stance again and come into Warrior 2 to the right. So turn your right foot out, bend your right knee, stretch your arms out. Just pause for a moment, adjust the stance. Then straighten your right leg, lean to your right, so hinge out to the right. Once you can't hinge anymore, once you can't reach anymore, just let that right hand fall down to whatever it comes to, even if it's your shin or your knee, and then reach your left arm up. Now, if your hand is on your shin or your knee, do your best to not just push that portion of your body down towards the floor. Still, create some strength in your legs. So pull your kneecaps up, push the floor away, and then stretch up out of the pose. Unless you're doing an opposite class of that, unless you're going with gravity. and looking to relax more. Stand up, parallel your feet. And then warrior two to the second side. So turn your left foot out, bend your knee, reach your arms out, and then straighten your left leg, lean to your left. Once you can't reach anymore, just let the left hand fall down, reach your right arm up. Breathe as best you can. I'm a little winded already, I'll admit, I'm a little bit winded already. So do your best, modulate the intensity for yourself, meaning if you need less intensity, don't come into the pose as far, or don't separate your feet as far apart. So go narrower. Stand up, parallel your feet, and then wiggle your feet back into the center of your mat. Take a few breaths. Relax, a couple breaths. All right, take a very wide stance on your mat. Now we're gonna do a standing straddle fold here. So that separate your feet and then we're gonna fold forward. If it's too intense, you just take a narrower stance, or place your hands on some sort of prop. So go ahead and separate your feet, fold forward, bring your hands down to the floor. That could be your prop. Bend your knees and then release your head and neck down to or towards the floor. Maybe not neck on the floor, but head to the floor if you can get it there. Now, again, if it's just a little bit too much of a stretch for your lower back, you could always just bend your knees and bring your elbows up to your thighs, and then just send your sitting bones back, send your buttocks back. But here, if you're in that forward bended position and you can release your head and neck into gravity, go for it. All right, stand up. So bend your knees and stand up. Bring your feet back in. Just take the load off for a moment. Now I'm gonna have you do, or have us do, one balancing pose. And I want you to start with your hands on a prop if you have it available. So then you can work your way towards the balance if you might need a little bit more support at first. But let's do the tree pose. So bend your right knee and then place the right foot on the inner leg, or you can bring it all the way up to the inner groin. Start with your hands on something, so you could just sneak over to whatever furniture you have around, or if you can touch the wall, go ahead and touch the wall. Now stay here if you need to. There's no shame in needing some help. All right? Or start to take your hands off the wall, balance. If you find you need the support again, bring your hands back. Otherwise, palms together here in front of your chest, or reach your arms up. All right, release it. All right, once you're ready for the second side, let's do it. Bend your left knee in. Your left foot could literally be all the way down here. It could still be touching the floor. If you're someone that needs that much extra support, take the extra support. Even bring your hands to the wall. Once you're ready to add a little bit more challenge, then you start to take more pieces of yourself away from those supports. So you could slide the leg up farther. You could take one hand off. That could be enough. You could take the other hand off. You could stretch your arms up overhead. But what do you know? Pose is already done. Downward facing dog. All right, now holding this one for a little bit of time, bend your knees, relax your head and neck, take some smooth, deep breaths. Okay. Come down to your belly and reach your arms back. We're going to be doing what's called Locus pose in the yogic practices. So stretch your legs back, stretch your arms back, have your palms on the floor, and then lift up with your in-breath. Lower down. We'll just pump in and out of it at first. So with your inhale, lift everything up. Lower down as you exhale. If lifting everything is too challenging, keep your feet down. Just lift your wrists, lift your shoulders, your chest, your head, and then lower all of that down. If that's still too much, keep your hands down, your feet down, and just lift your chest and your head up, your shoulders up, okay? And if that's still too challenging, you can go ahead and just lift one limb up at a time. Go ahead and lower all the way down. Rest for a few breaths. So all of us need something slightly different. And it does take time to learn how to increase or decrease the load for ourselves and to learn how much we need, how little we need. It changes all the time. Okay, so sometimes you might just lift a leg in this pose. Sometimes you lift everything up in this pose. Let's set it up again. Reach back. Start with your chin or forehead on the ground. And then let's go for it. Inhale everything up. We'll pump in and out again. Exhale all the way down. Lift up with your inhale. Lower down, exhale. Lift up again. Lower down, exhale. And if you start to get tired, maybe you keep your feet down and you just lift your chest, your arms, and your head. Keep going though. Or you could just keep lifting your legs up and lowering them down. One at a time if you need to. And then lower down and rest. Make sure your lower back is happy with what we're doing. So if you need to windshield wiper your legs back and forth, go ahead and windshield wiper your legs. This one, admittedly, for a lot of us, can, in some ways, just like kind of be a little bit harsh on the lower back. So pay attention to what's going on there. Move even less, use even less range of motion if you need to. All right. Now go ahead and reach your arms back. We're going to insert one more position here. And if it's too much, if this next position is too much, return to locus pose. Return to what we were just doing. So lift up into locus pose. Now turn your hands so your thumbs are touching the backs of your thighs. Now reach your hands down your thighs even farther and bend your knees. Now see if you can reach back and grab your ankles or your feet for the bow pose. And then kick your feet back, lift your chest up. It's not a great idea for everybody to do this pose. So if that's you, then don't bother. Just do the locus pose again. Take another inhale. Lower all the way down, exhale, rest. If you need a windshield wiper your legs, go for it. All right, we're going to do one more round of the locust or bow pose. Again, set up your locust pose, but this time with your thumbs touching your thighs. Start by lifting your shoulders, then lift your head and chest, then lift your hands, and now lift your legs. Slide your thumbs down your thighs, bend your knees, and see if you can grab your ankles, your feet, or your shins. And then from there, kick back, kick up. So bow, it's considered a bow pose. I think most of you are familiar with this shape. Now lift your outer shoulders, your outer upper arms up away from the floor. Lift your thighs up away from the floor. So personally, I'm using it for a couple different reasons, but one is to open the front of the hips, a little bit of front of thighs, as well as arch your spine, open your chest. One more inhale. Lower down as you exhale, rest. Now come up to your hands and knees. Keep your knees back. Send your hips up and back to down dog. So knees bent though. Separate your feet as wide as your sticky mat if you have one. And then keep your knees bent and just stick your butt up to the sky and push your belly toward your thighs. So I want to traction out your lower back now. So keep your knees bent. All right. Come through to a seated position with your legs crossed. So let's do right shin in front of left shin. So like the simple cross-legged position here. So right shin in front of left shin. All right. Now, to the best of your ability, just fold right down the center of your legs. So like a seated forward bend. From experience, I know this isn't the easiest position for a lot of people. If that's the case, so if you have any knee issues, make sure you bring the knees higher. You really don't even need to fold forward truly in this pose. All that truly needs to happen is that the thigh bones need to move towards the abdomen. So the angle between your thigh bone and your torso, it just needs to decrease as you roll your thigh out, roll your hips out. So if you need to, just grab onto that top knee, that would be your right knee, and then pull it up towards your chest as you pull your chest towards your knee. So that might be something that could work better for you if this pose is challenging. But here we've started to work into your cool down phase of class. So now just relax a little bit more, effort just a little bit less. And then sit up, take your legs wide for a brief moment just to straighten the knee joints, just to go ahead and pull the kneecaps up. And then let's do the other side. Cross your left shin in front of your right. And when you're ready, fold straight down the center of your legs. When I go into this position, what I'll do is I'll lift one hip up, step it back, lift the other hip up, step it back. And I might do that a few times because what can happen is that the buttocks can actually like get stuck to the floor, or portions of your body will start to just kind of get stuck to the floor. So if you lift those areas up, you'll feel that that area, the skin and the muscle actually lengthen out and smooth out a little bit more. Those of you that need to grab the top knee and just pull that knee in towards your chest and then chest towards your knee, do it. Go ahead and do it. Relax your neck, relax your jaw, smooth out your breath. Just go with gravity now. So instead of pushing against gravity, let's go with gravity now. All right, sit up. Lie down on your back, hug your knees in towards your chest. So just squeeze them in. Separate your arms out to the sides and lower your knees to the right. So a little reclined twist. If this is too demanding with your knees stacked, don't stack your knees. Stretch out your bottom leg. Maybe don't go into the twist as far. Go ahead and see what works for you there. Most of the time, if it's not working out, just back up out of the pose and just do less of the pose, if that makes any sense. Less range of motion. Let's switch sides. Relax. So go with gravity. Soften your right shoulder down. Relax your abdominal region. Relax your hips. Maybe close your eyes. Relax your tongue, your jaw. Slow down your effort or the need to effort. Come back through center, square everything up. So hug your knees into your chest, square it all up. Rock your hips around a little bit from side to side. Stay here or grab the outer edges of your feet and draw your knees down towards the floor. So traction out your lower back. Lower back, backs of hips, backs of legs a little bit. All right, let's bring the feet down. Slide your legs out straight for a moment, just so everything has a little bit less demand on it. So make sure your lower back feels good again. And then from here, just bend one knee, bend the other, and slide the bottoms of your feet together with your knees apart. So it's considered the reclined bound angle pose. Now, those of you that have a lot of tension in your hips or the inner legs there, slide your feet away from your hips. If you don't have much tension there, then you can slide your feet in towards your hips. Reach your arms overhead if that's relaxing and comfortable for you to do. Otherwise, just put your hands and arms in a relaxing, comfortable position for yourself. So in this position, just feel how your abdomen gets a stretch here. Feel how the lower abdomen, middle, upper abdomen, that whole area, the lower torso, gets a stretch here. Definitely with the arms overhead, you can feel it a little bit more than if your arms are down by your sides. But even with your arms by your sides, you'll feel that opening. And you might feel how your breath opens up with it. So there's a second to last pose. Now here's the last pose. Corpse pose. Stretch your legs straight. So stretch your legs out so your feet are a little bit wider than your hips. Bring your arms down by your sides and rest. Rest here for as long as you have available. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5, 6 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you have. But either way, thank you so much for taking class. I certainly hope that was fun for you, as it was interesting and fun for me. So yeah, thanks for watching. Have a good day.